Shalom and good morning. I know y'all been waiting for this report. So let's get started. First, let's give honors to our Father in heaven, YAHUAH, for he is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Also giving honors to his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, for he is the Messiah. He is the Messiah, the anointed one, the second Adam. And also giving honors to the Holy Spirit, who is the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of wisdom, the beauty of holiness, the glory of Yah, aka the seven eyes and seven spirits of Yahuwah. I also like to bid a shalom unto the bride of the Messiah, for you are made up of Israelites and Gentiles, males and females, bond and free, circumcised and uncircumcised, Scythian, barbarian, etc., all who receive Yahusha HaMashiach are of his bride. Also, I like to give a shalom to the 144,000. For you are the chosen of the Israelites, and you shall accompany with the Messiah to take down the fourth beast, Rome, Edom. That is the kingdom we are in now. Read Revelations chapter 7, chapter 14, and chapter 15. And also, I like to give a shalom unto the nation of Israel, for soon you shall be brought back together as a nation of people. You shall no longer be divided into two kingdoms, for you shall become one kingdom. Read Romans 11, Ezekiel chapter 20, 36, 37, and 38 through chapter 48. Shalom, everyone. All right, the title of this 13th New Moon report is The Era of the Aviv Followers. The era of the Aviv followers. Now, I want you to take a good look at this picture. And this is how the barley should be turning. The barley should be going from a dark green to a brown. When it goes to a brown, y'all, it is letting us know that it has matured and it's ready for harvest. It's also letting us know that the moisture in this food that we eat is now has decreased or has what's the word I'm looking for? Dehydrated. And that's what make it brittle, okay? When the water has evaporated. The same process that the wheat go, because those who understand the spiritual mysteries of the Bible, of the living word, you would know, according to Leviticus chapter 23, in order for one to put the sickle to the barley, the crop must be reddish to harvest, just as with the bride and with mankind. Whether you are of the bride or whether you are of the wicked, both bear fruits. The bride bear the fruits of the Spirit, that we bountifully, okay? Their branches will be full and overflowing with the fruits of the Spirit that's listed in Galatians chapter 5. However, for the wicked, when you read Matthew chapter 13 and chapter 14, Matthew chapter 13 and Revelation chapter 14, the wicked too will be bearing fruits, but they bear the fruits of evil, the fruits of the spirit of Satan when you read the Bible. So they too will be what? Ready for harvest to judgment. And the harvest now that we are in the wheat harvest. The first harvest, which is barley, the barley harvest represent the resurrection, the first resurrection, and that is with Yahusha HaMashiach and with the saints. Read Matthew chapter 27, verse 52 to 53. For the barley harvest represent them ascending or being set free from Sheol, which is hell, so they can enter into paradise. Remember what the Messiah told the thief on the cross: ye shall be with me in paradise. Like I said, mysteries. So the Father always give us a physical example or a carnal/earthly example to understand the biblical prophecies as well as the mysteries. And the reason I'm pointing this out, because when you understand those mysteries, then you're going to understand the calendar. For the calendar is also not only connected to the mysteries and the prophecies, but when you go back to the beginning where it all began, the calendar is also centered around agriculture, farming, because the Father made Adam to what? Sow the earth. And this is why I stress to my Israelite brothers and sisters, how can you keep the Most High calendar when you're not going out witnessing what the heavens is doing and what the earth is doing? Because if you understand what signs you are to be looking for, then you will not make the same error that these Aviv followers have made. Another point I need to share with you, many of y'all are running to other books to understand the Most High calendar when he has given you his prophets, such as Enoch. He had wrote 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Enoch, Ezekiel, Isaiah, and many others. To learn his calendar, you can learn about it from the 1611 Bible, along with the book of Jubilees, and with the book of Enoch, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and with the work of Josephus. Oh, yes. But y'all run into other books. But these people was not ordained or appointed by Yahuwah to teach you the calendar. You got to understand, what does it mean to be ordained, called, and appointed? It has been shown throughout the whole Bible, such as when Moshe laid his hand towards Joshua, such as Saul, such as Samuel anointing King Saul and King David to be king. The same way the Messiah was called in his position to be the anointed one and to preach the gospel. The same way Paul and Peter and the rest of those disciples was anointed to go out in the earth to preach the gospel. So I'm especially speaking to you Israelites. You know better. How dare you run to those other books and not read what the prophets was given unto you? For they are the mouthpiece of Yahuwah. How do you think you're going to stand before him in his court? And what's going to justify you doing what you did in this earth? I'd rather stand by the prophets, because what they spoke came directly from Yah. Stop running to these other books. If you got questions, that's why he gave you the prophets. Remember what the Messiah said to the one who wanted to go back and tell his brethren, you don't want to come to this place of death and torment, which is hell, where the angels are locked down in. You don't want to come to this place. Notice what the Messiah told us about that person. He said, no, they had the prophets. So the same is for you. He has given you the prophets. Stop running to these other books. Josephus has been ordained for what he has written. Enoch has been ordained and appointed and called. Moshe was ordained, appointed, and called, as well as many who have wrote the Bible and the other sacred books that the heathens taken out. So get it together. Remember, the Father gave you his heaven and his earth to be a witness. For he poured his spirit upon all his creation. And they do his will. And they obey him. The only one that's out of order is us, Adam. Do you hear me, Israelites and Gentiles? But especially to you, Israelites. Get it together. All right. Now let's begin. So what you see in this picture, you see that the barley is turning, letting you know it's getting close to maturity, but it's still got a slight green to it. And the reason why I'm going to show you these pictures, because we're going to open up first with a video, because y'all, I don't know what they are doing, but what they are doing ain't making no sense over there in the land of Israel. The Father has given them the signs in the heaven and in the earth, letting them know it is not time to have the new year. It is not time for Aviv. It is not time for that, but they are forcing it. Same thing here. You see it slightly still green, but brown. I'm showing you some pictures because when I take you to this video, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But like the Father's telling me, it's not given unto them to know these things. for they received the teachings of the Pharisees. So some things they follow in Torah, and some things they follow from their oral law, known as the Talmud. And we know the Talmud come from Satan. Those are the doctrines of Satan. Okay? Even the Pharisees, when you read the Bible, did not keep Passover correctly. They didn't follow Torah. Even Josephus told you that they don't follow Torah. Just like in this picture, you see how slightly green that is? That is not correct. Because the words say that these things must be ready for harvest. So in the spring, we have barley harvest. In the summer, yes, in the summer, you have wheat harvest. Talk to any farmer, and they would tell you wheat and the grapes are only ripened in summertime. And then in the fall, then the last harvest we have is the Feast of Tabernacles. These are known as the three solemn feasts that you read in the Bible. The three solemn feasts is Passover, Shavuot, which is Pentecost, and Feast of Tabernacles. And they have to fall in the correct season, such as Passover must fall in springtime. Pentecost, known as Shavuot, must fall in summertime because, y'all, I'm telling y'all, my dad is a farmer. He told me wheat is only ripened in summertime, just like the grapes are only ripened in summertime. It's time for y'all to get out and see what the earth is manifesting unto you. For the calendar is centered around agriculture, and many of y'all are operating out of order. You're just following what's on paper, and you're not going out witnessing what the heavens and the earth is doing. 3 is the Feast of Tabernacles, and that must occur in the fall. And you'll see why I'm bringing this out unto you. But here's some other pictures. But keep in mind, barley and wheat must turn brown. When they turn brown, they are ripened for harvest. You don't bring the Most High a mature or immature harvest. They must be fully ripened, for it signifies the type of harvest that we shall go through. So the next Exodus, the gathering, the taking, the redemption is the wheat harvest. But the last harvest is tabernacles, so called. Read Revelation 12 and you will see what I'm talking about. The last harvest deal with those who had to face the beast, face the serpent. The wheat harvest are those who are taken to the wilderness. There's a wilderness in the heavens and there's a wilderness in the earth. All right. Sorry about me preaching, but I had to because I'm tired of seeing many being misled. And the Father is telling you, read His word. His living word will not misguide you. Read His prophets' writings. His prophets will not misguide you. I'm talking about the ancient prophets, the prophets of old. And yes, we do have prophets today speaking to you, telling you the same thing. Wake up. All right. Now let's open up with this video. I want you to pay close attention. And I want you to see if this barley is really ripe. This was done on the 29th day of Adar of this year in the year of 2021 in Jerusalem, the modern day Jerusalem. The modern day Jerusalem, y'all. This comes from the channel of Jerusalem Saints. Okay. Here's his description. And he does say that the audio is out of sync for a few seconds. Okay.
Ahí está Jerusalem, estamos en el sur poniente y este es el valle de los hijos de Himnón y esa ladera del valle está toda verde y ahí crece normalmente cebada. Aunque no es al lado de la ciudad, es uno de los lugares que siempre verificamos, así que vamos a ver cómo está la ladera del monte de Sion que le llaman hoy día. Hoy en día le llaman a este el monte de Sion. Así que vamos a ir a la ladera esa a mirar cómo está la situación de la cebada. Estamos en la ladera del monte del Sion y como pueden ver, todo canta a primavera aquí, flores y cebada. Está lleno de cebada, aunque es muy, ¿cómo se llama? Nueva. Todavía no está espigada completamente. A este le llaman el monte de Sion hoy día. El monte de Sion originalmente es allá al lado del monte Moriah, donde estaba el templo, en el Kidrón. Este es el Himnón y el Kidrón está para allá. Tenemos la cebada en la ladera del monte de Sion hoy en día.
I'm going to try to go back here. Do you see how green that is? I want y'all to pay close attention what she's about to show y'all. They are forcing this thing to make it happen. Again, do you see how green they are? That's not ripened. And FYI, your sheaf-way offering day is on Aviv 16th. Josephus confirm it. The book of Joshua confirm it, because Aviv 16 is the first day of the week, and that's when the manna ceased on that day. That is the same day when the Israelites brought the sheaf-way offering, which is the first fruits of the barley harvest, known as the Omer. Omer means handful, to represent what the Messiah would do, for he did resurrect on the third day. The prophet Hosea will confirm it. Now here's a mystery for those who say it was 4 days. And we know a day consists of night and day. Go back on Aviv 14 and see what happened on that day. You had a day to happen within a day. Mysteries. But a lot of y'all want to go by a 24-hour period. Remember, Yahuwah's thoughts and ways is not the same as man. For example, he gave you an example. Look at when Moses entered in Mount Sinai. He entered into Mount Sinai after the morning activities, but that daylight or that day was still counted as day one. We have to come up higher to the way Yahuwah thinks, to the way he sees things. So it has nothing to do with the Messiah body going into an earthly tomb. It has to do with the Messiah's soul entering into Sheol, because he had to set the captives free, the saints, from our foreparents, Adam and Eve, and to all those who came after them. He had to set them free, for they could not enter into paradise until he fulfilled his part in the 5,500 year. Probably saying, where you get that number from? Again, the Father had his people to prophesy. It's in the sacred books, the same books the heathens don't want you to read. But let us continue. But I want you to know that information. Your sheaf-way offering day is on Aviv 16th. So whenever you say that the body is right, you have 2 weeks and 2 days, which make what, 16 days, that barley should be fully ripened for harvest. For harvest. The whole crop has to be ready for harvest. The same as with us. When that appointed day and time come, everyone be ready for harvest. Meaning they're going to be ready for judgment. Meaning they're going to be ready to be taken to the wilderness. Everything aligns up. The heaven and the earth. The physical and the spiritual. All these things go in hand.
Es un poco divertido. La última vez que vine acá estaba todo lleno de nieve. El 18 del 2 del 2021, y ahora la cebada no deja de de mostrarse. Y estamos apenas, todavía ni siquiera llegamos al primero del mes. Al primero del mes. Así que sin duda este mes que viene es el mes
Now that one he's holding is slightly brown, but look at the rest of them. They're still green.
de la cebada, de la Aviv. Aleluya.
So when he say Aviv, hallelujah, he's saying that the corn in the ear has fully come to its fullness. But when you look at his picture, it's still slightly green. It don't even look like this color here. But the seed or the corn within this husk right here should become to its fullness where the ears are fully pumped and ripened. And as they mature, this should be fully brown or tan, no longer green. Let us keep going. And this picture comes from Nehemiah Wall, Nehemiah Gordon Wall. He too is a part of the New Moon Society of Israel. He too well, I don't know what his road is now, but his road has changed now. But this where this picture come from. Again, it must be fully ripened for harvest on the V16, 2 weeks and 2 days. Again, you cannot use the Gregorian calendar. And I have to mention this. Look up the 1582 era of Italy and the 1752 era of America. They have already changed your weekly format. So the day that you keep Sabbath on is no longer Sabbath anymore. Oh yes, the heathen can't even count. Okay, let us keep going. Do you see how immature those seeds look? They ain't ready.
Eso que ven ahora es el mapa de la Jerusalén antigua, ese es el lugar del templo. El lugar
So he's showing you the map of where they went around to look at the barley. And I'm going to put this video in the video description box where you can watch the rest of this, because that's what he's doing. He's showing the map of where they went to look at the barley. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the pictures first. Let's go ahead and do that of the new moon sightings. Just give it a few minutes. So far as the heathens month, this is the month they call March, and in their year is the year of 2021 AD. Far as the new moon sightings of the 13th month, Brother Kiefer, he was not able to sight it, for he had the same problem I had, y'all. It was just too cloudy. Okay, so both of us could not sight it. All right, he was in southern Nevada. Myself, where I'm at, look, it was cloudy. I did receive a photo from Florida. Now they in Florida, they was able to see it. Have to give this thing some time to scroll down. There we go. Trying to bring it back up. Let me refresh the page. All right. Let me try this. Okay, this is going to take a little while, especially when you have more than one tab open. Okay. So here's the photo from Florida right here. They saw the new moon. Two Table Ministries. We'll go to that video. He also started the new moon, but he's going to keep the new moon as the beginning of his year. Like I say, you're going to see many people err this year. I don't think he's aware of what's really going on, because when you go to his video, you can't make any comments. Now, from Brother Howshua, he too recognized this year as a 13th month. For he says, this 29th day of the new moon of the 13th month was first sighted on the evening of this March the 14th, 2021 AD at 6:15 p.m. by the watchmen of the Tabernacle Congregation of Prayer at the real Jerusalem. So he also cited it and declares the 13th month. Now here's the report from Israel. Okay, this comes from the Barley or the Aviv group from Israel. They're on Facebook. Um, they also acknowledge that the new moon was sighted from Israel on Sunday evening at March the 14th in the year of 2021. It was sighted by Yael, Noah, and Ruth. I think I'm not going to try to say that last name, but it was sighted at 6:20 p.m. from Central Avava. Okay. Far as the report of the barley, let me click on that. Well, let me come back to that. This is Deborah's report again, confirming about the moon, and also in her report, they are claiming this year as Aviv. When they say Aviv, what they're saying is that they said the barley is right, for the corn has come in its fullness in the ear, but that's not correct. This photo here is the March 10th to 12th results. Again, it comes from I'm trying to think whose channel. I believe it's from the channel she referring people to. But as you can see here, when you look at the corn, it's still kind of green. It's still not ready. Some fields are turning brown, but the majority of them are still green. And for those who are in the counter group, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to a new moon. Those who are in the counter group already know why. So if you have somebody that is right, again, you have to read the prophet's writings, because we are in the days of sinners. There's certain signs that's been manifested, so you need to recognize what is out of order and what is in order. Again, he has given you the prophets to know these things, so you won't make an error with this calendar. Let me go to this one. Okay, that's to her report that I went to. Okay, so I see there. So the next site we're going to go to Two Table Ministries. So you can see his report as well. As that's pulling up.
Shalom, saints, and welcome to another episode of New Moon Report. Today is Sunday, March 14th, 2021 at 7:09 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona. And if you look over my left shoulder to your right, you will see the sliver of the new moon has been spotted. Now, before I declare what month it is, let me make a quick announcement. We do follow here at Truth Table Ministries, we do follow the Aviv search that's conducted out in Israel. The organization that we follow is Devorah Date Tree, which is a derivative of Nehemiah Gordon's search that he's done for years. Nehemiah has retired doing that, and he has passed it on to Devorah Gordon. So we have been following their Aviv search. And we do trust their Aviv search because just like how we do, how we show you the new moon in a video, they do the same with the Aviv. And as they're showing you the Aviv search, they're giving you teachings at the different stages of the barley. So as they went out going towards the end of February, and they went again 2 times this month. So they did 3 searches this year. What they have found was this. In the Jordan Valley, 9% of the barley was in the.
Okay, so I'm going to go to Renew Moon so you can see that. So it explains why he's keeping his new year. Again, you cannot follow behind the Gentiles. The Father has given you the prophets, and you cannot use one sign to determine when you will have a 13th month. The prophet Enoch, as well as the other prophets, are giving formulas because there are certain things that will sometimes come out of order because we are in the days of sinners. So, in his video, he explained why he's keeping the new year. Again, you cannot follow the Gentiles. So this video is listed on the citing page here, where you can go to it yourself. Okay. Now we'll go to Renew Moon site so you can see other sightings. So you can see what he's talking about. So with renewmoon.com, they do have communication with the New Moon Israeli Society. This is where some of their reports come from, as you see listed here. What he was reading is the report that Devorah Date has listed. Now, it's very important that you pay close attention, okay, to what they are saying in their report. And notice how they're basing everything off of one sign. And that one sign is based off what comes from the earth. For us Israelites, we use the heavens and we use the earth to dictate unto us when is a 13th month added. Okay. So far as the new moon, it was sighted in Australia, India, South Africa, 2 places in South Africa, and Florida. Far as Israel, it was spotted in Central Aviv. Okay. All agree on the same day. All right. So notice here, Renew Moon is going to say this is the first new month, but it's not. And I have the evidence to prove it. I've been keeping records of everybody's records. I have the proof. Okay. So based on this Barley report, they're going to say it's positive, but I'm telling y'all need to read between the lines. In this report, it says, based on the reports received thus far, it does appear a large portion of barley within the land is quickly maturing and will, no doubt, have sufficient fields that will be fully ready to harvest by wave sheaf day 3 weeks from now. That one you want to highlight because I gave y'all the date when your sheaf wave offering should be gathered. That is on Aviv 16. So that's 2 weeks, y'all, and 2 days. It is not 3 weeks. It is not 21 days. So they're already error in that part. However, we do not begin the year based on prediction when the barley will be Aviv and only consider the status of barley at the time of the renewed moon. Okay? So they just say, they don't use prediction. They go out and look at the barley at the time of the renewed moon. All right, let's keep going. Then she goes on to say the report from Devorah's date tree indicates spots checks of barley being anywhere from 9 to 18% as being in a state of Aviv, but with no full fields or large areas being fully Aviv. That's your hint right there, Israelites and Gentiles. Okay. However, it's worth noting this report was conducted 2 days prior to the renewed moon. A report from Yoel Halevi, Hebrew in Israel, Okay, indicate a large area of barley found in Tel Gamma area as being 100% Aviv with some stalks already shattering. Y'all need to go look at their pictures because I'm telling y'all, some of that stuff's still kind of green. And in order for it to shatter, remember, it has to be dehydrated. It has to be brown like the wheat in order for it to be shattered. Okay? Do you see the errors of the Gentiles? Do you see the error of the Jewish? The Yahad? All right, we're going to skip some of these paragraphs. Like I said, you can go to the new moon. But these are the things they look at when they look at the barley. Okay? They look at if it's brittle enough to be destroyed. They look at the lightening of the color. They look at if the seeds have produced enough dry material so it can be immediately eaten parched, not having to first be dried out. They also look at the fields is of sufficient quality of Aviv, like a vast majority, to indicate the field will be harvest ready within a few weeks. Again, they base it on 3 weeks, 21 days. For the word of the Most High by his prophets, they told you it's Aviv 16. Big difference. Even Josephus would back me up. Okay. So now that we have that, let's get into the 13th new moon report before I give y'all the juicy details. Yes, Sister Yedia got records now. Oh yes, got records. And they will be a part 2 because I have to give you the end of the year report or the end of year summer report for the 12th month. And that's one piece of evidence I have. I'm not able to bring it up yet because of the type of screen I'm in, but I have their new moon records. I'm talking about Israel. Oh yes, I have their new moon records. So this is why I was able to fill this chart out for y'all. But I got some juicy stuff, some 2 things to add to your list to determine when you should have a 13th month. And what I'm talking about here, they forgot to look at the 7th month. And they forgot to look at the fall equinox to determine if the Feast of Tabernacle is going to start in summer or fall. They also forgot to look at their month Aviv to determine if their Passover day falls on a full moon. For those who've been keeping record and read the sacred books as well as many other books, even the Gentiles have this in their records, their books. Passover must fall on a full moon day. That is the rule from the heavens. Passover and the Feast of Tabernacles falls on a full moon day. Those are 2 things to add to your list to determine if you're going to have a 13th month. But the ultimate tiebreaker here is given by the prophet. For the prophet Enoch told you there's a 358 rule in the 19 years of the moon. Oh yes, that's a pattern that the moon follow to let us know when a 13th month is coming. All right, now let's get into the moon report. Oh yes, I told y'all the Father's going to do some stuff this year to get your attention. Notice that the Gregorian calendar is not even correct on when we should have Passover. Do you hear me, Christians? Your date of Easter, which is really Passover, is wrong. It's incorrect. You're keeping it on the wrong day. That was not the day he was crucified. All right? The day he was crucified was on Aviv 14. Then Aviv 15 is the Sabbath, the day of rest. And Aviv 16 is the first day of the week, and that's the day when he resurrected from the grave and he set the saints free. And he went before the Holy of Holies. He went before YAHUAH to present his finished work and those that he delivered out of Sheol. All right, here we go. Here's the 13th month. Right here, we start right here. In this box, I give a lot of good information, like what season we're still in, whether this is a time of harvest, okay, which is not. Remember, there's only 3 feasts that deals with harvests: Passover, Shavuot/Pentecost, and Feast of Tabernacles. Because then in the 4th season comes rest. Do y'all hear that? You work for in the 3 seasons for what? To prepare for winter. But when winter come, you rest. Like I said, mysteries. Far as the year, we are in the 8th day from Adam, which is the 13th day from creation. Myself, Beta Israel, and Brother Howshua has been keeping up with the record of time, confirming unto you, we are in the 8th day of Adam. However, the Jewish, you who are your head, as you see, their years is off, way off. For they are 5781, showing you they don't follow the prophets. They're giving you the wrong year, so you won't be ready for when things go down. Far as prophecy, we're in Enoch's 8-week prophecy of his 10-week prophecy. Oh, yes. And the King James Bible would line up to it, because there's a 7-day prophecy. Even the Jewish have it in their writings. And we have it in the King James 6:11. It's prophesied by Ezra. Yes. And I found another Israelite writers who have it. Look for that word coming out soon. There's scriptures to show you how I got this calendar format. You got it's in Exodus, it's in Ben Sirah, and it's given by the prophet Ezekiel. He has the formula, y'all. And also, I have a note here to remind you about the 1582 error in Italy and the 1752 error in America. You cannot use the heathen calendar to give you Yah holy days and feasts. And we learned recently, these days are sanctified and holy, y'all. So you need to come correct. Not only get your outside right, but first you got to get that inside right. Get your heart right. If your heart is not right, then your heart has defiled your whole body. And once you are defiled and unclean, you cannot partake in something that is holy and sanctified. So repent and sin no more. For those who are against the 13th month, the naysayers, well, guess what? Math testify against you, and the prophets testify against you. Because this is just basically heavenly sense, what the earth called today common sense. When your moon year has lesser days than the sun year, it would start before the sun, early and early as each year go by. This is why the Father commanded the heavens to produce a 13th month to keep her in her regulated seasons. Remember, Jacob had 13 children, and one of them was a girl, a daughter. Like I said, when you study about numbers and get the true understanding, you understand these numbers mean something. So he used the he, which is the sun, and Mazzaroth, they are he's, to dictate unto her when to produce an extra moon. And she does this 7 times in 19 years. Remember I tell you about 7 is a very important number to y'all. It has to deal with sanctification, holiness, and perfection, mysteries. But let us keep going. So to the naysayers who say they ain't gonna keep no 13th month, and it started from 2015 to 2016. I got my records, and you know who you are. Stop lying to the people and confess that thing. Tell them the truth. You was wrong. You made a mistake. And then repent and sin no more. Get the people on track. Because it started from 2015 to 2016. So don't be lying to the people now. So for those who won't keep the 13th month, starting from 2015 to 2016 all the way up to now, you are now in your 3rd month. You are in winter. You are keeping Passover in winter. Oh yes. Oh yes. Math don't lie. It'll testify against you. Now, far as the meaning of this month, is named Adar the second, which basically means exceeding glorious to the second. Woo! To understand what exceeding glorious mean, why the Father would name that, watch the video on the channel about Adar, exceeding glorious, the mystery revealed. All right. So, far as the Most High Sabbath day, again, the heavens determined the Sabbath day, not no heathen, Romanistic, paganistic, Gentile calendar. That's from the 4th beast. Remember, I told you about them errors now. They done changed the format. So, we would keep Sabbath from the heathen day, what they call Sunday, which is the day of the sun, for they worship the host of the heavens, to Monday, which is the day of the moon. Again, they worship the host of the heavens. I'm talking about heathens now. But for us, this known as what? Shabbat, day 7. So that's the day we would keep it on, as far as the heathen day, from Sunday to Monday. All right. Here's some scriptures to give you more understanding about the new moon offerings, because we learned that it's a holy day. That is not a day of rest. The only new moon day that's a day of rest is your Feast of Trumpets. Okay, I hope y'all paying attention to what I'm saying here. The only new moon day that is a day of rest is the Feast of Trumpets. Read Numbers chapter 28 to 29. That's the proof. Any other new moon day will not fall on no day of rest. I hope you're paying attention to what I'm saying. So here's some scriptures for you to read about the new moon day, what we did on that day. It was a day of worship unto Yah, because you know Yah like to be number one in your life. Okay? And the day 1 of the 13th month of the new moon fell on the heathen's day, March the 14th at sundown, and we end on March the 15th at sundown. Far as the date of the sun, we are in the sun's 12th month and 25th day. Notice there's still winter. It's still winter. And on this day, everyone saw the 13th new moon. The east, the west, and Brother Howshua. Now let us keep going. Now we're going to the first week in his month. The first week in his month, as you see, start from day 1 to Sabbath. That's how we do it. We ain't like the heathens. And in this week, on day 6, that is the last day of winter, y'all. For this is the day when we have the sun enter into the first sign of Mazzaroth that the heathens call Aries. And on this day, we will have about 12 hours of night, 12 hours of daylight, and 12 hours of night. Now, you may know a slight difference on this day because the earth has shifted. This calendar here has a video for you to watch, because it goes aligned with YAHUAH prophetic messages, which will bring me to this. Check the video description box and listen to YAHUAH prophetic messages, because he would tell you why the earth is no longer in line with the heavens. It has shifted. So therefore, this is why you will have a variation in your time now. It's no longer exactly 12 hours anymore. Okay, for example, you can have 12 hours and 10 minutes of daylight, and then for night, you can have 11 hours and 50 minutes of night because of this shifting. Now, when the sun enters the first sign of Mazzaroth, it happens on March the 20th in the year of 2021 at 11:37 a.m. in Israel Standard Time. Remember that the daylight savings has changed in America, so we're about 6 hours apart now. Far as the date of the sun, we're in the sun's 12th month and 30th day. Far as the heathen's date, we are in March the 19th to March the 20th from sundown to sundown. That is the last day of winter, y'all. So your first day of spring will be on day 7 of the moon. Day 7 of the moon. Very important. And on this day, we have the moon increase into light. She will be about 50%. And it happens on March the 21st at 4:40 p.m. in Israel Standard Time. Israel Standard Time. Okay? Far as the date of the sun, this is the sun's first month and first day. This is the marking of spring, the first day of spring, y'all. And it falls on the heathen date, March the 20th to March the 21st from sundown to sundown. Then we get to the 8th day of the moon, which is your first Shabbat, the first day of rest. Remember, in all the Most High calendar months, how many Sabbaths do we have? We have 4 Sabbaths. You got 1 day for your new moon day. That's day 1. You got 4 Sabbaths. That's 4 days added to that. That's 5. Then if the month is perfect, which ended on day 30, that's the end of the month. So you got there left 4 Sabbaths, and then you got the tall when you have a perfect month of 30 days. Let us keep going. But the day of rest, the 7th day of rest, falls on the heathen's day, March the 21st to March the 22nd from sundown to sundown. Far as the date of the sun, we're in the sun's first month and second day. Now let's go to the second week in the month. On day 12, this is when Israel's going to convert to daylight 7 times. I hate when the Gentiles do this stuff. They don't stay in line with the heavens. But anyway, that's what it is. And on this day, that's when we're going to be back 7 hours apart. This falls on March the 25th to the 26th from sundown to sundown. And the date of the sun is from the first month and the 6th day. Now, here's another sign. They're gonna keep Passover on the 14th, right? Israel gonna keep Passover, right? I'm gonna put here Israel gonna keep Passover on the 14th. Notice they ain't got no full moon. They ain't got no full moon. This is another sign unto you that you are out of order. Again, people ain't paying attention. All right, they ain't paying attention, which is wrong. Like I said, not paying attention. And it's still even cold too. Feel like winter still. So they're gonna do it on day 14 of the moon. And look, they ain't got no full moon. The full moon gonna fall on day 15. And it happened on March the 28th at 9:48 p.m. Israel daylight saving times. Daylight saving times, y'all. And it falls on the sun's first month and ninth day. And far as the heathen's day, it falls on March the 28th to March the 29th from sundown to sundown. So I hope y'all see this thing right here. That is proof. But like I said, people want to follow behind the leader. They don't want to follow the prophets. And I'm talking about the prophets of the old days. They don't want to follow them and read their writings. But they want to run to other people's books. They want to run to the Gentiles. And these Gentiles were taught by the Pharisees. Where do you think the oral law came from? Now let's go to the third week. In the third week of his calendar, on day 18, that's when you have the heathen month known as April to start. And it falls on the sun's first month and 12th day. So this is where we have March the 31st and April the 1st coming in on this day. Then we look at the phase of this moon on the 21st day of the moon. The moon is decreasing in light now, y'all. She's going down to 50%. And it happens on the heathen month known as April the 4th. On the 4th day in the year of 2021 AD. At 1:02 p.m. Israel daylight saving time. As far as the date of the sun, it's the first month and 15th day. As far as the date in the heathens, it's April the 3rd to April the 4th. Okay. As far as your Sabbath, I forgot to say that the day 15 is Sabbath too. So day 22 is Sabbath, well, it's the 7th day of the week. Remember the east gate? It can only be open on the new moon day. Then after the new moon day, you got 6 working days. Then after the 6 working days, you got Sabbath. That's it's the formula. That's the pattern. That's how I got this calendar set up. But anyway, so on the 22nd day of the moon, remember the moon detects the month. The sun dictates when the day begin and end, and the sun with Mazzaroth dictates when the seasons begin and end. Again, you got to know that these lights together form one calendar. The sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. Whoever teaching you the calendar should have all 3 lights. So on day 22nd of the moon, it's the day of rest unto Yah. It's a sanctified day. It's a holy day. It's a set apart day, y'all. So make sure you come correct. Make sure your inside is aligning to your outside. Okay? If it's not, repent and sin no more and get it right with him. He ain't playing. So this is the date of the 22nd day of the moon, which is the Shabbat, the Sabbath, falls on the sun's first month and 16th day. Far as the heathen date, April the 4th to April the 5th from sundown to sundown. Now for the 4th week. In the 4th week, we have the moon. As you see, she's waning till she's become a sliver of light on the 28th day, known as the last waning crescent. And it happens on the sun's first month and 22nd day. Far as the heathen day, it happens on April the 10th to April the 11th from sundown to sundown. And then on the 29th day, she becomes dark. And as the prophet Enoch prophesies unto you, when she has no light upon her, that is the end of the month. And it happens on April the 12th in the year of 2021 AD at 5:30 a.m. Israel daylight savings time. And it falls on the sun's first month and 23rd day. Far as the heathen day, it falls on April the 11th to April the 12th from sundown to sundown. Okay? So when sun enters to the first sign of Mazzaroth, it falls on day 6. I think that's what I had for y'all. Okay? Which the Gentile call Aries. Make sure that's what I had. Yep, day 5. No, day 6 of the moon. I need to put day 6 of the moon. But as far as the weekday, it happens on day 5 of the week. Okay? So that takes care of that. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. So I already showed you about the moon. Now what will help you to count these things, when you go to timeanddate.com, like I said, it gives you all the information of the moon phase from the dark moon to the moon increasing in light, which is the half moon, to the full moon, and then to the moon decreasing in light, which is the half moon, then back to the dark moon. Okay? And this is based off of, let me see where we at. This is based off of Tel Arad, as you see in this picture here. Okay. Yep. Arad, Israel. That's what it's based off of. And what will help you to count, either you can count from here, you can use this chart here, or you can use this. And what I did, we're going to start a little bit different. We're going to go to the nitty gritty before I go to this chart here. It's a reason why the prophet Enoch had this formula 358, because there are times where things seem so close, you don't know what to decide if you should have a 13th moon or not. Okay. So what I did, I wanted to see when would the 7 months start, and will the Feast of Tabernacles start in summer or in fall? So by me knowing this information that they're going to keep the sighting of the moon on March the 14th as their first month, I was just able to count. Okay. So with the dark moon happened on March the 13th, but but as far as the new moon, they saw it on March the 14th. So I just counted. So we say that this is their first month. That's 1. Then April is number 2. May is 3. June is 4. July is 5. August is 6. And September is 7. So notice here the dark moon is on September the 7th at 3:51 a.m. More than likely, they will have a new moon on September the 7th at sundown. Okay? So by me knowing this bigger information in advance, I'm able to figure out when is their Feast of Tabernacles. So far as the fall equinox, I got that information also from timeanddate.com. Okay, right here. Solstice and equinoxes for Arad. I went to the year of 2021, and the equinox for September is September the 22nd at 10:21 p.m. Israel daylight saving time. Very important that you know this. So by me knowing this information, the fall equinox is going to fall on day September the 22nd to September the 23rd. Remember, the Father Day is from sundown to sundown. Okay, very important for you to know. Far as the Feast of Tabernacles, it will fall on September the 21st to September the 22nd. And by me knowing this, notice y'all, they're going to start the Feast of Tabernacles in summer. 2 days. Hold on for a minute. Sorry about that, y'all. So their Feast of Tabernacles is going to start 2 days in 2 days of the Feast of Tabernacles. So remember, it's an 8-day feast. They're going to be starting in summertime. That is not correct. The last gathering of all your crops, like the grapes, the wheat, and other things that they ate from the land, the last gathering is supposed to happen in fall season, y'all. Okay? The fall season. So, in their 7th month, their new moon day would be, I'm just giving a projection, okay? A projection would be either, it'll start on September the 7th and end on September the 8th from sundown to sundown. Their 8th day of their moon will fall on September the 14th to September the 15th. Now, the 15th day of the moon, which is the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles, will fall on September the 21st to September the 22nd from sundown to sundown. This is day 1, y'all. Day 1. I need to put that in there so people can understand. Day 1 of 8. Okay? Notice that the equinox come in on September the 22nd to September the 29th. So this is it's still in summer. So this is 1 of summer. And when you get to the equinox day, it's still 2 of summer because that's that sun's last day in its month of summer when they enter into the 7th sign of Mazzaroth. I think it's the 7th. Yeah, the 7 signs of Mazzaroth. And when it does that, that let us know that the next day will be fall. Okay? Then as far as day 22 of the moon, it falls on September the 28th to September the 29th. Now, what would be quite interesting, when is that full moon day? That full moon day in September falls on September the 21st at 2:54 a.m. Israel Daylight Savings Time now. So this would fall from the 20th to the 21st. Okay? 20 to the 21st. They're not even going to have a full moon on that day. So I need to put here, no full moon. Okay? Full moon falls, full moon falls on 09 slash, let me see here, 20 to 21. Wow. So the same thing that happened in their Passover, notice here, same thing that happened in their Passover, their Passover day do not fall on a full moon day. Their Passover day do not fall on a full moon day because, a full moon day, Passover must be on the 14th. But notice what happened here. That full moon is going to fall on day 15. And that's something. But for myself and for Brother Howshua, we're going to be in our 6th month. Do you see how the heaven's giving you warning signs to let you see why you need to add that 13th month? I got more. And I know this is going to be a part 2 because I don't want this video to be long. I have a chart. I looked at my records, Brother Howshua records, such as his website and what he's keeping now. And I also have the Jewish records. I have their records as well. So I'm gonna be coming out with a part 2. Look for part 2 of the 358-19 chart record. because y'all, it's going to show you that the Jewish, known as the Yahad, is not following the prophets of Yah. I'm talking about the ancient prophets. And even the prophets of today, including myself, is telling you what formula you should be following. So when I look at their records, I'm talking about now, I'm going to talk about the Jewish for today. When I look at their records, okay, from 1994 all the way down to this year of 2020 to 2021, looking from that time, this is the pattern: 358, 358, 358. In other words, in 19 years, in the third year, you should have a 13th moon. Fifth year, 8th year, the same. Then it starts over again within that 19th year. In the third, fifth, and 8th year, you should have a 13th moon. Then in the 19th year, which you see right here, in the third year, you will have a 13th moon. And when you count in 19 years, you would count that this moon produced a 13th moon 7 times. That's why you see me put first fold, second fold, third fold, etc. So starting from the year of, because we got to start from 2001, because this is the third year. So I'm sorry, we got to start from the year of 2000. So starting from the year of 2000, and we go all the way down to 2019, you will see that the moon produced an extra moon 7 times. Remember, I told you about 7 is very important. On that video, on the channel, y'all, there's a video that will explain to you why 7 is so important. It's a holy number. It's sanctified. It stands for perfection, because it's dealing with something that's going to take place with you, Adam. Do you hear me, Israelites and Gentiles? And even the heavens is manifesting it. It's showing you. Okay? Then what's done in heaven is also done in the earth. So from the year of 2000 to 2019, you will have 7 times. That's what sevenfold means. 7 times that the moon will produce an extra moon, which would make the 13th month. Okay. Now, when you look at the Jewish and you compare my numbers to them, they first started, because I found a actual Jewish calendar going back, and that's known as the YAHUAH calendar. Okay, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me scroll down here so you can see what I'm talking about. And when you deal with people records, make sure you get copies and take pictures. So if they make any changes and they don't explain why they made those changes, then you know they're trying to cover up something. So for example, let's go to 2007, 2008. The site to go to is hebcald.com. That's where you go to. And they have all the records of when they have a 13th moon. Okay? You can go there. You even have a time where they even have a converter where you can see what year they're in. And when we go to their converter, remember I gave y'all 5781. Well, for this year, we're in 5781. There we go. All right. Let's go back. So, for example, they had a 13th moon in the year of March to 2008. So it starts from 2007 to 2008, because this is the 13th month. And it probably started, they put both days because there are multiple sightings. Maybe some started on the 7th and some started on the 8th of March. But for my records, I got the 8th because I do have the New Israel Moon Society records to compare. So I'm going to come back and add some more stuff to this. So that's why it will be a part 2 to this. But I want y'all to go ahead and get this information now so you know what's going on about this pattern. Okay? So they started out, and this is based on the Hebel calendar, and then you see the numbers in red. It's based off of what I know they have. kept efficiently, you can go to renewmoon.com as well and get some of those reports, and also from the New Israeli Moon Society. They have records too. Now, in their records, they don't specify the 13th month, but I had to do some digging, go to certain people's site who follow them, who also recorded when they have a 13th month, but the evidence is there. So we're using all these sources, I was able to compare what they had versus what I had. Notice that in the year of 1994 to 95, they followed the same pattern, 358, 358. But when you get to the year of 2010 to 2011, this is the pattern they are following, 368, 36. Okay, very important for you to know. Now, what you see that's in black, this is a projection, because next year they're gonna have to add it, because I think for them, yeah, next year the new moon will start around March the 3rd to March the 4th. How I know this? Well, the new moon this year was March the 14th, right? And I already know that the moon year is 10 days ahead of the sun. So I subtract March the 14th minus 10 days, I get March the 4th. So the new moon is expected to be seen around March the 3rd or March the 4th, somewhere in that time frame. Okay. So they're going to definitely have to add a 13th month then. So this is why I have it highlighted in yellow, letting you know that it's a projection. Again, these formulas give you ahead of time. But when you read Wikipedia and you look at Metonic cycle and the Hebrew calendar, their cycle or their pattern is way different from what the prophet Enoch gave us. Okay? They follow for their 19th year 368, 11, 14, 17, and 19. And what it's saying that in the 3rd year, 6th year, 8th year, 11th year, 14th year, 17th year, and 19th year of the 19 years, this is when they would add a 13th month. When you do the pattern of these numbers, you get 368, 369, and 2. That is their pattern. It's crazy. When you do the difference between this number, you get 332, 333, 2. However, when you follow the prophets of Yah in the 19 years, these are the following years that we have a 13th moon. It's in the 3rd year, 5th year, 8th year, 11th year, 13th year, 16th year, and 19th year. Do y'all see that? It's way different from the Jewish that you had. Far as the formula, okay, that was given to Enoch is 358, 358, and then 3. And then, no, it still continued. 358, 358, 358. The difference between these numbers is 323, 323. And reason why I do the difference, because if you have at least about 3 to 4 years, at the most 5, you can figure out the pattern and know what formula they're keeping. So they're not following the prophet Enoch at all. At all. Now, I will be going back checking my numbers. I had to go back and do a lot of math to determine what cycle we are in, because in the very first year of the 19th year, it started out 358, 358, then 3. Then in the second year, it started at 5, 358, 358. Let me see, 5, I'm sorry, 8, 3, 5, 5, 8, 3, 5. That is the second year. Then in the 3rd year of the 19th year, it would be 8, 3, 5, 8, 3, 5, 8. See what I'm saying? Then it goes back to what? 358, 358, 3. That's how I do, because you're dealing with an odd number. And we'll talk more about this. But for this year, what I have so far, because I'm going back and check my numbers to make sure I too did my calculation right. I have the year of 2020 to 2021 being in the 5th cycle, in the 5th year. Okay. And this is the first fold. This is the first time that the moon is producing a 13th moon in the 19 years. Okay. Okay. I should put 5th year here. Oh no, this is done with the first. Okay. Make sure I count it here right. 1920. Yeah, because you got the year of 2019 to 2020. So this will be the second year in the 19th year. Second year. Thank you, Father, for letting me catch that error. Okay, so you can see that. So this will be the second year, but it's the first fold in that 19 years. All right, I hope this helped y'all. Again, there's a lot of red flags. Those who's keeping their new year, y'all want to go back and look at the heavens and look at the earth. I can tell that those people over there in Israel, they're running with it. They're running with it. They're not following the prophets. All right, take a good look, because they're not keeping it correctly. All right, continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize the people in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. For the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, and the apostle continued them both. If you have no one to baptize you because of this plague we are in, remember, the water is the second witness in the earth. The heavens is a witness. The earth is a witness. And they can report back unto the Father who entered into the new marriage, the new covenant, the renewed covenant. For our Father in heaven has poured his Spirit upon all his creations, and they are connected to him, and they can report unto him. So you are being watched. For as the Holy Spirit baptism, he too made that simple too. According to your heart, faith, and works, he shall give it unto you. All you have to do is ask in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, and it shall be given. Love you all, and shalom.